Hey there, Mark Kelso here with you again. Welcome back now to level 6. So in this level, we're going to try some expanding on some of the Bossa Nova grooves and use the Bossa Nova as a means to try some exercise with independence and coordination. So we're going to have a lot of the Bossa groove elements in there, but we're going to start working the left hand just to free us up a little bit more so that we can be more creative when we get to a more advanced level of playing Bossa Nova. So basically, there's going to be a lot of the same thing, just the left hand is going to be doing coordination exercises. These may not be things that you actually would work in a groove, in a Bossa Nova groove rather, but these are things that we're using the Bossa Nova bass drum and hi-hat and right hand as a template for creativity, much like you would do in a jazz setting where you're playing the ride pattern and using the left hand to work out some independence. This is a good exercise to do. I encourage you all to have some fun with it. Okay, so looking here at number 1. So basically here in number 1, as we can see, we have the basic Bossa pattern and the left hand is just going to play quarter notes. Now, as easy as that may sound, sometimes playing a quarter note against a groove that you've already established can sometimes feel quite uncomfortable. So sometimes even doing something simple can be a challenge for us, and it's always good to overcome those challenges. So here we go with the Bossa Nova Independence lesson number 1 with quarter notes in the left hand on the cross stick. And as again, I'm saying left hand because I'm a right-handed player. So if you're opposite left hand or open hand, it will be something a little bit different for you, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Simple, but to make it sound good and feel good, a little bit more of a challenge. You might think it's easy, and I can't tell you how many times I've thought something was easy that proved to be quite difficult, only because I underestimated the depth of what I was learning or playing. So when you're doing that particular groove, you want to make sure that you got no flams between the cross stick sound and the right hand on the hi-hat or the bass drum pattern. Everything's got to sit in its nice little slot, nice and relaxed, and feel good. Let's try this with the metronome now at 80 BPM. And again, let's move it up to 120 BPM and have some fun with it. Really lock in that quarter note because the quarter note on the click is now what your left hand is doing. So it's got to be super tight. 1, 2, 3. Okay, here's Bossa Independence number 2. And as I mentioned earlier about rhythmic cells, sometimes it helps just to sing the pattern that we're playing with our feet going. So we might just go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's have a go at that at 80 BPM. 2, 3, 4. And once again, let's do it at 120. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so for bossa number 3, this is kind of cool because we're getting into a thing where now we're opening the hi-hat as an added sound within the bossa nova vibe. So we're going to play the regular pattern, and now the focus is going to go to our left foot, and we're just going to kick it open with our heel and then close it with our foot. So you kick open, close. So you're creating the sound of you would get with a stick, but you're using your foot as an added element. So again, for coordination, lots of challenges, but lots of fun. Here we go. Have a listen to this. 1, and 2, and 1, 2, 3, and. Why don't we give that a go at 80 BPM? 3, 4. And moving it up to 120, here's what it sounds like. 1, 2, 3. So for bossa number 4, you can see we're back on the right again. Same kind of feet pattern. We're bringing the hi-hat back into 2 and 4. And now we've got the 1 bar pattern with the left hand playing the cross stick. And it sounds something like this. 1, 2, 3, oh. Okay, let's have some fun with that at 80 BPM. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and now the same groove, number 4 at 120 BPM. 2, 2. Okay, so for bossa number 5, as you'll see on the page, we're getting back into incorporating some of the tom-toms again into the bossa nova groove. So this one, a little bit tricky. Remember the movement? Boom, boom. Getting that arm, nice flowing sort of movement around the cross stick and the toms. It's tricky to go from the floor tom back to the cross stick. So you have to have nice accuracy, and what that means is your preparation in the movement has to be really, really together. Otherwise, you're doing herky-jerky motions, and it becomes tricky to move back and forth with all that motion. Okay? So nice, smooth, fluid motions, nice, fluid, smooth motions, and just you can practice just going back and forth between the drums. Here we go. It sounds like this. 1, 2, 3. Now, why don't we slow that down and try it again at 80 BPM. 2, 3, 4. And now that we have that one down, let's move her up to 120 BPM. 2, 2, 3, oh. Okay, now that we've gotten through all those little exercises in independence, your assignment is basically to go through all 5 of those rhythms again, those patterns, at the 80 BPM, move it up to 85, move it up to 90, 100, and work your way up to 120. If 120 is problematic for you and you can't sort of, play it cleanly or control it, then there's no shame in playing it slowly. In fact, I love playing things slow. I'll work often down at 30 BPM and try to play things I can play fast, slow, just to isolate the limbs and see if I can really play them accurately. So think again about just the placement of all the sounds that you're using, moving your hands around, getting different sounds. Experiment, be creative, and maybe come up with some of your own ideas. There's nothing wrong with doing that either. So go through all 5. At the different tempos, work your way up to 120. And then, again, you can even use the musical background of the loop as an exercise regime, because I think it's sometimes even better to play with a piece of music than it is just with a metronome sort of, in your head. There's not a lot of things that are very musical about that. So when you're hearing piano and bass and saxophone and whatever, even if you're working on an exercise, I think it's a little bit more beneficial because it's a more musical application of what you're trying to learn, and that is the final goal. So musical application is always the main goal here. All right, so have fun, and I'll see you